much. I got here and I have the stream started. And Gabriel and Simpson, please go ahead and if you guys want to introduce yourselves and the thing, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. I am an innovation player and commentator. Happy to be here commenting again with you, Attica.
Very
And I'm C. Simpson. I've done one or two of these before. Yeah, I try and play innovation regularly when I'm not on vacation.
all right. Well, hi guys. Yes. All right. So
Looking
good luck
forward
to.
to a rematch this month again.
I am streaming it. Yes. So it is getting recorded and it is getting streamed as we speak. As they play the game, it is getting streamed live. And of course, it is also getting recorded at the same time.
Okay.
Yes. So it is recording and streaming all these things. Cool.
And we see a dynamic start.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of good starting cards, and Hi guys already got a couple of points.
Yep.
Yeah, and masonry kind of takes the wind out of metalworking
Oh,
sales, but
yes.
domestication comes back.
Ah,
And now with that agriculture, thwol can render himself immune to clothing next if he so desires, and if Ty-Guy doesn't come up with pottery or something like that.
Absolutely. Yes.
but the alternative is to continue to use metalworking
Hmm.
mm, to try and
Right.
score
Yep.
versus. So, which is, yeah,
Yeah, and try to
well, is
like
do. I mean,
find pottery
quite a
yourself
few
or something
cards
like
on the
that.
board.
Or
Yeah, so okay,
yeah,
this is going quite well.
And of course, guess what's
yeah,
going on the.
but
I
but but
mean,
now it sort of guarantees that Ty-Guy is going to be able to achieve the one.
uh, maybe.
okay.
Yep.
I thought Thwol might have had a second go at metalworking because you could get Monument with a couple of, if you got a little bit lucky and managed to score two cards,
I
you would
thought,
have got Monument and a
yeah.
few more points.
Oh, why did I think he had pottery? But I think pottery may have gotten. Oh, Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas is not happy with his move.
No, I mean, it doesn't seem to have achieved much because
Yep.
as Real says, Ty-Guy could just, you know, still has the ability to score points with clothing, even though it's shared.
I mean, well, what it does do is it sort of equalizes in the sense that okay, so Ty-Guy gets that first achievement, but now clothing is like almost fully defanged, and uh thwol is in a better position to contest for the two and to be in a good position for the three. I mean, at this point, I'd rather have metalworking than clothing, and
Yes.
especially a clothing when you're this far behind on leaves.
Well, yes, because I mean, yeah,
I mean, not to
calendar.
mention calendar, of course.
No, calendar was a good card that Swallow picked up, so that might be, yeah, why
Yeah.
he chose to meld agriculture because he knew he'd get that on the board.
And depending on what three you have here, like you can play the three and then next turn agriculture for the two if you're thwol. And Ty-Guy doesn't really have very much action anymore.
Indeed,
Clothing is shared, you're only getting a two. So if you're
writing is
Ty-Guy, you got to
useless.
be thinking about turning the corner. Like, well, what am I going to do instead? And that's probably exactly what he's thinking now. I mean, you don't really want writing. Like masonry is not useful for you, so it's either draw or meld that. Probably. I mean, hard to think of a situation where you'd want to talk about clothing there. And with that calendar, Ty-Guy has to be thinking, well, thwol can go digging for whatever he wants from the threes.
Yes.
So, if he's looking for machinery, it's there. If he's looking for, I don't know, optics, it's there. And like Ty-Guy has to be like planning on the eventuality of THL having whatever he wants.
I mean, for now, he can just get the second achievement, right? By just doing agriculture.
He
Yeah.
could.
As long as he has defense, like either a purple or green card in his hand, then he's not. There's no urgency to it because Ty-Guy can't uh, dogma clothing and then achieve as he was able to do with the one.
Right.
But you don't want to get like far enough behind that like doing that for the two means that you don't get the three. Okay, but he does prepare that defense. So like now, if there's a three in his hand, clothing is entirely inert for Ty-Guy. Only of benefit to THL, and
Because
that has
Ty-Guy
to
can
be
now
something that
share
that is worried
writing,
about.
which helps him,
Hmm.
right, to get more cards in his hand and get into the threes quickly.
Yeah, but that education agriculture combo is killer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. I had that lovely combo with in one game with Thai guy, agriculture and education and what was it? Chemistry. Yes, he was not happy.
Mm. Hmm. But THL is still looking, still not finding exactly what he wants in those threes. Do we? I forget. Do we know what that two is in his hand? Did it come from metalworking or was it drawn?
No, he did metalworking once, and that's when
Mm.
agriculture came up, I think.
I mean,
So
the
yeah,
only one
I
from
don't think we.
metalworking was calendar, right? Which he has already melded, I think.
Hmm.
Let
Hmm.
me see. Let me
Oh
scroll
yes,
down.
yes. So yeah, we don't.
Okay, so Thomas has ores in his score pile, the wheel, tools,
Yeah.
and city state. All of them in his score pile.
Mm.
If I was Ty-Guy, I would have used writing rather than just drawing a two, because it gives thwol a two that's probably not helpful, and you get a two and a three.
Yeah, one wonders like like who's waiting on what, like what, like they know mostly what each other's twos are, right? There could be some jockeying based on that.
But is there a particular two that you think Ty-Guy might be looking for? I mean, okay,
Ooh.
road building is not, you know, isn't bad. I always hate it when my opponent gets that. Um, but yeah, just seems a bit passive from Ty-Guy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I could see like someone thinking about making a canal building play. I think that is such a passive card. It's like a one use card, and then you don't want to use it again, probably, or don't want to use
Yeah.
it again for a long time. So I could imagine that, but yeah.
Um,
So he's
was it
getting the
map
next
making? Is
achievement.
it map making would be an interesting card for
Yeah,
Ty-Guy.
and Ty-Guy does have the lead in Crown, so he
Round.
could
Yeah,
be missing that from his hand and think, well, maybe THL has it, and maybe he doesn't, and maybe I can be the one who finds it, and then have a chance to get
yeah.
back in this with rapid scoring. Okay, so now I feel like if I'm THL, I'm considering achieving here. Like, there's not like an immediate need, but with road building, like there could be a little more chaos than one
Yes.
sometimes has.
I mean,
I
he
mean, the
could
other
do,
option is
yeah.
agriculture. Okay, so he does hit you.
I mean, so Thai guy could maybe do road building and meld the purple and construction and, you know, get empire. Ah, there you
Got
go.
fermenting and philosophy.
Okay, yep. That's a good move because you know what? Yeah, I mean, he can do philosophy, fermenting. Oh, nice.
Kind of like the that writing plan that he didn't go with last time.
Yeah, but this time it's, you get two, I get three, rather than you get one
Not
and I get
fermenting.
two. So it's, yeah,
Yeah, and gets me into the threes as opposed to like just being twos.
yeah. I mean, fermenting is a good thing to share when you are behind in age level, to go through the decks. But at this stage, it's,
Yeah, and because of that agriculture education combo, Ty-Guy has to know that if he doesn't sort of cycle through the cards rapidly, thwol is going to have this kind of like
yeah.
aggressive climb to six and be very far ahead in the score
Ah,
achievements.
so I won't immediately jump to six because then I'll miss out on coal.
Yeah, maybe.
His favorite card.
Yes, his
Okay.
favorite card.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm sorry about the noise. Did I mention there are a few teenagers in the house at this time?
You did
No
say, so I'm
worries.
surprised it's as quiet as it is.
Yeah, they just got out of her room, so yeah. And now they're planning on walking over to um, this fast food place where they go to buy ice cream, but they get free French fries.
Oh,
So,
French fries and ice cream. Ah.
well, they're teenagers, so do you expect them to eat healthy?
Um,
They are.
so I guess what happens now depends on who's got what threes, right? Basically,
Hmm.
you know the threes you've got, so you know the threes that your opponent has. And
Yeah,
so who
mostly.
has big cards like medicine or machinery or things?
We still got calendar.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if Ty Guy has them, it doesn't matter quite so much because playing them goes over fermenting and he's still behind in
Yes.
leaves. But if THL has them, then that's something that Ty Guy has to play around. He can't score something high if he knows that THL has medicine. Can't fill his hand if he knows THL has machinery. And now that THL has 1 4 in hand, it's going to be very attractive
Guys have umbrellas?
if THL
You have umbrellas?
has machinery. Of course, that also doesn't work immediately because it goes over agriculture and then they're the same in leaves. But
Yeah.
anyway, they know which one is making the eventual threat.
Yes.
And I feel like THL is usually more of a like a mid game player than a sort of early runner for up the score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But with this setup, if Taiga doesn't contest him, I can see this going rapidly up. At least to 5, maybe to 6.
Yeah, it can easily get away from him if he doesn't have some cards to
Something, yeah.
to to challenge.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, if I'm Thai guy, I'm thinking, okay, if I can get gunpowder, attack that metalworking, and then somehow get ahead and leave so that clothing is useful again. I mean, that's a lot of moving pieces, but the 3 it's too late for. So can I be the one who gets the 4?
yeah,
And I think being behind like this, you have to take a like a high risk, high variance play, and even if that means giving some stuff to THL. Okay, compass. I see that could work. defang calendar, and whoever has machinery or whoever has medicine.
Nice. So now he's gonna get 4 instead of 3 from fermenting.
Uh-huh.
So if he gives calendar, he gets road building, and if he gives agriculture, he gets still road building.
Yeah.
And if he does get road building, he can always grab compass and steal something which might end up being feudalism.
What do you guys feel like? I mean, calendar, it's sort of you're really powering up Ty-Guys fermenting, but you give agriculture, and that is sort of like your only way to score right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a tricky one.
yep. But see, that's where,
I think I go agriculture.
well,
At this point in the game, agriculture is still relatively slow. Fermenting is fast. That calendar like gives you that dynamicism at least for another turn if you want it.
he says he'll keep writing. So, what is he going to transfer? To have a pencil.
Okay,
Right.
and thwol does go with agriculture.
Let's see.
Which is probably safest.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it means that you have to give up the three. Maybe, I mean, it's a little ways away, but certainly defangs that very frightening fermenting.
Yes,
And with all these cards in hand, you have to think that thwol has a good road building play if he wants one.
indeed. The ability to build
Might
two
be
times.
able to get a construction achievement.
I mean, from the point of
Might
view
be.
also of combining it with education, Thor's already scored 2 4s,
Yep,
so has the
Mhm.
ability to use education to level
Yeah.
up.
yep.
Um,
Because he doesn't want to use compass because he will probably definitely get feudalism and not agriculture, I'm sure.
I feel like it's a little. I mean, again, we don't know who has the threes. They know. If that last three in Taigai's hand is machinery, then you're a little bit uncomfortable as THWO with education because, like, okay, I have to play it right away, or it's going to be taken from me with machinery. Um, and if it's got a leaf, then it gets taken by compass. So you're taking a little bit of a risk if you run education if that three anti guy's hand is in fact machinery, which they
yes.
know, which we don't know, or they don't actually know because it could also be the
Okay. Optic. Oh,
okay.
he's
He
gone.
does do a road building play.
It's a crown fest.
Yep,
Yeah, and with
now it
map
is.
making now he
Map making,
has
yeah. So
a vicious run up and score, and with optics
yes,
on the board he can also like get a four melded onto the board with one action.
That's now gotten very
Even if that
dangerous.
four is his hand, it's not one that he likes.
yeah. So I mean, this is scoring effectively a net 6 points every go. 5 for him and 1 away
5,
from
yeah.
Tiger.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, now Ty Guy should be in complete damage control mode. Like, maybe shoot for the six and try to establish like a more commanding board presence because you're not going to get the three. You're not going to probably get the four. It's going to be really difficult to even get the five.
Well, he needs, if he returns the 2 using agriculture, that way at least map making wouldn't score a full 5 next turn. 5 and 5. It will
Yes.
score a 1, 2, which would be 3, and then another 5. So 8 instead
Yeah.
of a 10. That's
Still
So yeah,
brutal. I mean,
if
that
that
still
if
gets
that
into 20
two's
past 25.
yeah. So they are kind of tantalizing each other. Maybe I'll give you road building first was better. I forgot you'd be taking a card. I'll keep writing. Your pen, got a bird, quill, draw your six. I will, maybe I won't. Okay, draw your six. Okay. So Ty-Guy thinks that thwol will use education. Or he could actually, you know what, get the third achievement and then do education. I know, I mean, right now he doesn't need to because he can score a
Yeah,
lot.
there's no rush. Like,
Exactly.
as long as it stays in the fours and the fives,
Yep.
Tuchel is going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot less chaos.
yeah. I mean, I again here I'd be looking at using writing just to get cards that might help me here, like for example gunpowder.
That's
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel
Um,
like if I'm Thai guy in this situation, the situation looks desperate. Like I'm going to be taking all of the risks because, if I don't take risks, I'm gonna lose.
yes,
And if I'm THL here, I'm playing conservatively. I'm solidifying my lead. I've got better cards out. I've got more cards in hand. I've got higher cards in hand. I've got more score. Soon to have more achievements. I just try to like cement that and don't take risks.
absolutely. So again, I think
Avoid
just
using
the
optics if I don't
four
have to.
is passive. Um, you have the possibility if you use writing of giving gunpowder or another card you want to thwol, but you get two, so the odds are you'll get it. And I think, it's just faster. You can't just draw cards because map making is used, three more goes and suddenly it's 30 points or something to thwol, and he can just use education to get a six on the board and bingo, it's all over.
Yeah, not quite all over because of the one achievement that Taiga already has, but
Yeah, okay.
close enough.
But yes, I mean, once you get five achievements, it's. I mean, there have been games, indeed, thwol particularly has come back from games where he's been 5-1 or 5-2 down, but it becomes very hard.
Yeah, and you
Um,
want to have a nice board state to begin with, which Taiga doesn't. All of these
yeah,
cards, except for Compass, are very passive, very slow cards.
Now the thing is, the way Troll's mind works, he could probably do education. I mean, and return if4 with crowns. You know, possibly printing press, meld it using
Hmm.
optics, right? Get a nice little extra four.
if the
Could be.
timing comes out that way, right? He can't predict necessarily, as say, whether Ty-Guy might draw, how many fours might get drawn. So
Oh no, from his score pile. You know, when he uses education and returns a 4, he will
yes,
probably
but
return a special 4.
right, but
He'll
he can't
track what
guarantee
four
that
he's
he will
returning.
get
Oh,
that.
yes.
The timing might, yeah.
He
So you
always
don't want
does
to
He'll
that.
return
certainly track
something.
it. Yeah, he'll certainly track it.
Yes.
We have to think. I mean, it's likelier than not that THL
Okay.
has translation, and with this many crowns on the board, like that means that six is likely the end of the game. So I think that mathematics play, I probably would have done that earlier. I mean, he's been sitting on it, right? And so,
Yeah.
like I said, high risk time. Like,
But yes, indeed, I was about to say, as Ty Guy said, melding feudalism wasn't, particularly. I mean, it was useful for fermenting,
mhm.
but if he was going to use road building, then he knew fermenting would probably get covered up. So all he's done is got rid of philosophy, which means he can't use mathematics by himself. He has to share it,
I don't.
which
I very rarely mind sharing mathematics because you do it with your first action. If they want to share, then you get to do it again, and they don't
that's
have
true.
the.
Yes, they haven't got the extra level card that you get as your
Yeah.
sharing bonus, indeed. Um, so as I say, things are desperate for Ty Guy. So maybe you know
If
and
I'm
that's what he has
THL, I
to do.
don't like seeing that mathematics, and like I said, I want to be conservative. So like, I want to make sure I get the three, make sure I get the four, make sure I get the five, and
Yes,
you know,
because
stay at the same level, tech level as Ty Guy as I do all those things.
yes, because
If there's
all
any
yeah,
way to get rid of mathematics, it's great. If I can find enterprise or I don't know, share like at some point in the future, share domestication and force Ty Guy to if it turns out that that's translation in Ty Guy's hand, for instance. Okay, so he does
okay.
go
So
with Attica's suggestion goes for the six.
which
What
if he
was it?
doesn't, which if he doesn't meld it is kind of a defense against mathematics because you
Hmm.
might be interested, depending on what that six is. Ty-Guy can mathematics is like, okay, as we said, there are disadvantages to accepting sharing it, but if you get to meld a seven while your opponent is melding a five, then you're still doing well.
Okay, and
Uh,
if he's doing map making, then there's no way that Ty Guy has machinery. Like THL would not take
yes,
that risk. So
absolutely.
probably that means that THL is sitting on machinery, in which case mathematics loses a lot of power because you can't sit on those high cards.
Yep. Um, and so yeah, for second action, he just scores some more points in a you know
Yeah, I feel like this is the right play from Ty Guy. Like you got to take that risk. Like let
yeah.
THL return the six, pray for a really inert seven to come up.
There aren't that many inert sevens, sadly, but yes, cover something up. Um,
I mean, it could be combustion. It's not combustion's not very good right now.
Yep.
Explosives. You'd be happy to see explosives here if you're Ty Guy.
Well, Thomas says he was hoping Tyga would be deterred, huh?
Right, because he
yeah, for
wants
the
to
for the
take that
reason
conservative approach.
I said, it's do you want to give flawless opportunity for seven? I mean, if he accepts the share, then of course Ty Guy can do mathematics twice. So he has. So he's got
Okay, but
electricity.
electricity, that's a fantastic one. As long as we don't see uh factories come out here
Yeah.
Yeah,
for Ty Guy.
yeah.
Now, the only
Um,
dangerous factory would be banking, but it's not going to take a green, unfortunately. And plus, he does not have crown majority. I mean, he could still
right.
splay the greens, like Block likes to do with banking. But let's see. Yeah, there you
So
go.
he has got
Okay, and it
banking.
was
Pick of the
banking.
devil.
That's annoying. Okay, so I mean,
So you have
presumably
to think if that's
mathematics.
yeah, unless that's coal or like you feel like you need to defend against electricity and you don't want to take the chance, coal or the pirate's code or something.
Yeah,
Steam engine. I can even see an argument if it's statistics for not sending it back with mathematics because like that is like one of the few things that you could actually use to make progress against
yes.
Teachel's.
Yeah, the yellow cards around the 5, 6, 7s can be very powerful if you're in a spot of bother. Apart from steam engine, which I think is terrible.
Well,
That has its
here it wouldn't be so bad because you do want to defend against electricity. Like you
yeah,
don't know if that's what THL is going to do, but if he does and he gets 4-8, ooh,
yep.
He will, yes. And the thing is that, he does not have agriculture anymore.
mhm.
So, let's see. Now, Thomas is not happy.
And yeah, and of course,
And
if electricity
I
is
mean, I think he
shared,
would. Sorry, go ahead.
then Thai guy has will still have cards on the board, right? Because he doesn't have that many piles with only a single card. So it might put him in a, slightly better position in terms of just having symbols around.
Mhm.
I forget what's under what, but there's a couple of light bulbs under mathematics in writing, and philosophy would come back into play. So we'd have a big light bulb majority, which is can be helpful in the later game.
Whereas on the other hand, if that doesn't get shared and if thwol just gets to do electricity, under that optics is road building. So
Yes,
you can immediately get two of the eights, whatever the best two of those four eights are, down.
absolutely.
And Attica, to what you were saying, you said Thomas is not happy. I feel like it's just because like electricity, that is not the conservative play. Like you're taking your chance on what the four eights you are going to get are. Whereas something like lighting, then okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to score three sevens on my next go. I'm going to have 40 points and a seven down, and I can just like, that would have been a perfect uh like thing to land there for
You
him.
Yes,
are you
and
guys
of course it
missing the?
covered it covered up navigation, which was the conservative score building card that thwol would have used in the normal conservative
Mm,
way. So
yeah,
there's
yeah,
two
yeah.
things. One, it covers up, it prevents him from doing the conservative play, and instead it opens up a somewhat chaotic option.
And so, Attica, you're tickled by this conversation that they're having, I guess.
Yes. And like I said, that Block would have played the greens, right? And I have a feeling Troll is going to share. I have a feeling because both these guys, Troll and Block, like banking.
It will equalize crowns.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because both the greens under banking have crowns. Let's see.
Mhm.
Yes.
Electricity will give him one more crown, so he will have five. Thomas will have five crowns, and Ty-Guy will have two more, which would be five. So yes, that will
Yeah.
be even. Deep
But
So
maybe
thought.
he
I would
won't share. Maybe he'll
imagine
say
that,
like, I don't want you to have another five. I don't want you to stumble into coal or something. Stumble into something that's going to let you equalize. Is it worth it for me just to equalize on crowns? Like, what am I scared of that you're going to do with those crowns?
well, it might also be that Tie Guy is looking at bank, right? There are eights, if thwol uses electricity or even just draws sevens,
Hmm.
there are cards there with factories. So Tie Guy might have a play to put another crown on the board and then use banking
Hmm.
to get back up to the same level as thwol.
Yeah,
I mean,
So it
yeah.
might be sort of
It
setting that up.
neutralizes a lot of the really great eights that you could like. You're not going to make a mobility play with
Yeah.
banking out like that.
Okay, so
oh,
he's declined,
wow, impressive.
but that's fine. I mean, thwol doesn't think needs a big crown majority, right? He's not going to use optics, obviously. Um,
Yeah, I mean, if I'm 12, maybe I just double achieve now, lock it in. Don't take any risks that that's statistics in Ty Guy's hand.
So, like you
or at least
said,
one achievement and draw I mean, it depends what he feels about electricity. One achievement and drawing a seven, so that
Mhm.
again, mathematics,
Yeah, but
it's a
he
slightly
does not. I don't think he wants to share mathematics anymore. Not with banking on the board.
well, he can,
He
like you
doesn't want
said,
to like risk.
yeah, but you said, he will have a road building underneath optics. So he can grab a bunch of fours and use road building to get banking right back, right? And then he can splay his greens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he wants to give road building back to Ty Guy. Road building is like too dynamic and too powerful. Um, I feel like what you if you love road building, you want to save it for when you really, really need it.
yeah.
Well,
But I mean, he might also have like engineering in his hand, in which case
Yeah,
he
yeah,
can
that's
use
true.
road building to meld in engineering and give that.
yeah, he has
But I think
six
the
cards.
situation is I hear what you're saying about the risk of Tie Guy covering up banking, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Exactly.
there is a, you know, it
I mean,
depends on the situation, but and the five that Ty-Guy has, um, you know, he's got to do something and, reasonably quickly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I was mostly focused on thwol and what his position is, and not really wanting to meld an eight blindly, like not really wanting to repeat that. Like, if I'm thwol, I don't want to sit with a seven in my hand and then share mathematics if Ty Guy uses mathematics, because I don't want to take the risk of what that eight might be. That was my main thing.
Okay.
Render myself vulnerable to banking if
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it also, of course, depends on what the seven is, right? In lots of these cases,
Mm,
you draw a seven and you go, oh, actually, I like this seven. I'd much rather meld
mm.
it on my own term and activate the dogma than
Yeah.
blindly, auto melding
Or just
card unseen
drop it for
always carries a
drop it for the
risk.
symbols.
Yeah.
You know.
But things like lighting, for example, as you just talked about, that's a oh yes, lots and lots of yummy points.
Hmm.
Uh, because Ty Guy doesn't look in danger of getting up to 20 points anytime soon. Okay, so
Okay,
he's
so
done
he does do the
actors,
electricity play, and he
which
can
is
look and see what those eights are before deciding what to do. Does he
yep,
want the three? Does he want to use road building and meld a couple of them? He has all those lower cards too, so he can, you know, decide he wants to meld machinery or whatever.
yep. But yes, he can meld two with road building without having to do the second part.
Or as Attica pointed out, he can do the second part if he wants, if he's really wants to put down something uh, with factories, but doesn't want to make himself vulnerable to banking. He can put down
Yep.
some low engineering, as you said, and whatever the thing he wanted to play was, and take banking.
right, right. And like I said, that he can, since he has a lot of eights, he can actually steal banking with road building and use it to splay his greens. And he will not have to worry about what is that thing? Compass. Okay, well, then compass would be the problem, but we'll see. We'll worry about that later.
So how many of the eights have factories? One, two, three. Only three eights. Mobility corporations and skyscrapers have factories. So, you know,
He's got at least one
it's
without
likely thwol
factories,
has
and
multiple cards without factories are immune to banking. All sorts of fun, like quantum theory, for example, would be a pretty big card here.
mm,
Um, draw tens and score tens. So here we go. We've got antibiotics and socialism.
Wow.
okay, so
So socialism
leaves.
will
There
get
we go.
him monument.
Almost, it's almost, yeah.
He could, yeah. Next turn.
And then, yeah, antibiotics will get him all the eights, basically.
Right,
Right, he
and
can return
again,
a two, three, and four and get six. He can get all the eights and a nine with antibiotics.
And so now this is like THL is saying, I am
oh,
not
one
going to
second.
take banking,
Yeah.
because then he would be very vulnerable to compass. And what is Ty Guy gonna even do? Like mathematics and take the risk and like hope that either THL doesn't share or shares and get something that you can take with banking. Like what I don't even
No,
know
I
at this
mean, I mean,
point.
Wall won't accept a share of mathematics. I think that's clear.
Hmm.
For you know, but it's still. I mean, the fact that Tiger has thought about it, and not melded his five, makes me think his five is not great, or maybe it's something to keep in the wings for later. But
But at this point, with those leaves down, what can you hope for from the sixes? Like, is there anything that you can hope to see in the sixes that like is actually worth it for you in Tegai's situation right now. This is a very uncomfortable position. Like I would have said vaccination last turn before seeing like
Yeah.
those six leaves come down.
Okay, so physics, which has drawn cards that might immediately go away if thwol chooses to use socialism.
Hmm.
So that's one of the problems with that action, I think. Yeah, it would have been nice to, force share of physics indeed. Um,
You know, would have been worth a try, which now I mean, I guess there's always a chance that there's no purple in Paul's hand.
we've seen both purple threes, right? We've seen education and feudalism. So
Uh-huh.
none of those. So half the cards we know aren't purple. We've seen one purple eight. The four we haven't seen enterprise or
Reformation.
reformation, but there are a lot of fours still in the deck. And the two we saw philosophy, but not monotheism. Orthwell could just do some achieving. Okay, so he's gone for
Yeah.
the.
He doesn't see any urgency.
Well, I think he's going to do right. So I think he's going to do antibiotics now, which will
Hmm.
get him all the eights and the nines, and then he might use socialism, right, which will get him
He
monument.
might, but like then everything's tucked. It's a little bit hard to like do anything from there. Like what I mean, I guess you then
Well,
electricity later, but you have to share it. Like
if he wants quantum theory, then that gets tucked, but it's not tucked
yeah,
because it's
yeah, yeah,
blue. So
yeah. So,
that
but
could be what he's
you
fishing
it's
for.
reasonable.
I mean, that's probably what I would think about doing here is, scoring a 10 is just, is great. And it's just
Game
achieve,
over. Yeah.
achieve, achieve. Yeah. Um, since, he doesn't have any scoring cards. And he's
Wow.
got, yeah.
You can also road build to do this if you for whatever reason, you know,
Yeah. But of course,
if that's the
he must have
achievement
a
in
purple
game.
eight. He must have a purple card now, surely. So, he
I mean,
will,
unless the other purple eight was the achievement, the eight achievement. But yeah,
yes,
almost surely.
it would be very unlucky. And then, of course,
Hmm.
Ty-Guy's back to the fives, of which there are many in the deck. So I'm not sure whether thwol is more concerned about the fives or sixes. I don't know the deck as well as he does to say, would you like Ty-Guy? I mean, he knows what the sixes are that Ty-Guy has, right? As do we. Vaccination, democracy, and industrialization.
Yep.
So democracy is a
Hmm.
scoring card because he has the for Ty-Guy because he has the light bulb majority.
Yeah, but too slow to stop THWall from getting the three or the four, probably or the
Yeah,
five.
but everything's too slow to stop him getting the three or the four because he can do those immediately.
Yeah.
We'd get him up to 20 points.
Hmm.
And might arguably be back in the game.
I mean, I
Industrial
feel like at
in
this point, Ty Guy really has to like get into the chaotic tens to have a shot. I don't think that this is a situation where there's
yeah,
a good angle of approach for just like, oh, I'll get the six and then I'll get this special achievement and that special achievement and cobble something together. I think he's
yeah,
just too far behind on board. Like you've got to do something so that he like momentarily has a higher score and then agriculture a 10 or something like that. Okay, and there was quantum theory and he did not use socialism to get it out.
and chose to meld alchemy as well.
Uh-huh.
That was odd.
Maybe he's thinking about using electricity. Maybe
Now, at this time, electricity, I don't think he wants to share because
mhm.
that
I mean,
means Thai
he's
guy
got
will get.
other factories presumably. So, but yeah, I agree. It doesn't really make sense.
Um, I guess we'll
That
keep that for question for them after post game match discussion. I guess.
I mean, I can only assume he did not have a purple card because I would have, I don't think he's interested in melding those eights. So socialism, if he had a purple card, would have tucked all those, they would have been on top and would have got Ty-Guy's hand in order to be able to use quantum
Use
theory next
quantum
turn to
theory.
return
Yeah.
cards, right? So I can only assume that, yeah, the other purple eight was the Okay, so yeah,
Well,
physics works
he may
nicely.
have another eight that he wants to consider playing. Although then why didn't he just play it? Yeah, I mean, I
Well, if it's
agree with
got,
you.
it
Like
might be
not knowing
something,
anything.
yeah. I mean, it might be something with factories, and so he has to play it as a first action in order
Mm.
to dogma it. I don't know. So okay, so yeah,
Okay, and then this is absolutely correct from Ty Guy. You just
yes,
have to be taking all of these chances. Like you gotta be like trying to do whatever you can to get back into this.
yeah. I mean,
And
when physics works once, it's more likely to work again, of course.
hmm.
And then he knows it's going to work the third time. So those weren't particularly risky. To do it again would be very risky, right? To start drawing sevens unseen and losing all those cards. So I think yeah, I don't think he'll be um, doing physics again, but he's effectively filled up his hand with stuff.
Okay, well, I have a question now from you guys. Um, Now, Thomas said, well, yeah, okay. So, why do you think Thai guy is trying to draw out all the sixes to get to sevens?
I mean, it's
To
just
get,
desperation, like trying to get any action going.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, yeah, he needs cards, right? He can't do anything with the cards he's got,
yep,
right? To either score or hurt thwol. So he needs cards, whether they are a particular card in the sixes or higher cards is unclear,
Like
right? But he has to have new cards and get through the deck to find something that's interesting. Um,
so, like for example, like if you light, like he can't have lighting in his hand. That's a seven. But if you got lighting down with your second action, oh, I can respond to that if I'm twelve with achieving twice. But then Ty Guy, get the next achievement. Maybe I mean not with the hand that he has right now, with only two things to tuck to lighting. But that's the kind of thing that you're hoping for, like
but
something that
lighting would be shared, right? Or at least has the option, right? Because it's a
yep.
yeah,
oh
yeah, and that
yeah,
so I mean that example is not a good one,
yes,
but something of that nature where like you hope to do something that gets a big score all at once, so that even if you can't contest the threes and fours, you can get the five, maybe get the six.
Okay, so why is
I
he
mean
not
the
doing
sad thing is
quantum?
that by
Ah,
drawing the
universe. That's good.
um, by drawing sixes rather than fives, of course, Thai guys missed out on societies
Hmm.
and indeed enterprise, which are two great cards for stealing things
Mm.
from your opponent and getting back into the game.
Mm.
So you know, in some ways, I don't think there's anything in the sixes that allow you to swipe cards from other. So here comes
Alright, so that
socialism.
Here
would
comes
make it
that tuck
five
that you were talking
achievements
about.
for him. And then you think he's gonna go for flight? Okay, so rocketry,
It's too
machinery.
slow. Probably just quantum theory.
So he had him. Yeah. Okay. So evilly, he did have a purple card, but chose to wait until
Hmm.
Oh no, it doesn't matter because it's only the lowest card. So because it was only the three, so it hasn't actually
I
hurt
see.
Ty-Guy at all. Yeah. Okay.
Just your three.
All of us thought the same thing. Everyone except THWOL thought this. Or maybe Attica didn't think this. She
Yeah.
wasn't saying it, but all the rest of us all got confused.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at it. I
Okay. And
guess,
now, yeah,
Hmm?
and Ty-Guy doesn't have any red cards to splay up if thwol chooses to use flight.
Exactly. Yeah, he can. And yeah,
Um,
and
flight gives
while
him
he's
flight would give him well, two flights would give him empire. He wouldn't have enough
Hmm.
crown.
Maybe that was the purpose of
that's what I'm looking. Yes, he
Yeah.
that will
of the
So
give him
okay.
alchemy.
empire. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, there's enough castles in the red pile with road building and
Oh
Yeah, it's
metallurgy.
not
yes.
that.
But yeah, so basically 3, 4, and Empire look to be the things that are coming
Yep.
thwol's way to finish off the game.
So yeah, he's got the game locked.
So four more actions.
Yeah, I don't see any outs. Any forced
No,
shares in the
just
sixes.
yeah. I mean, just two more turns. He plays up, gets empire next turn with flight, and then he gets the third and the fourth achievement. So that would be it.
Just trying to think if there's anything in the sixes that Ty-Guy could imagine using
No,
to stop any of those.
I say, it's 4 and 5 are where you get the stealing cards, and those are kind of
Hmm.
bypassed. In the sixes, I don't see anything that hurts.
Maybe what are light bulbs that can we imagine like atomic theory? No, it wouldn't be shared, so you can't even hope to
Yeah,
cover
you can't
over.
muck up your opponent's board.
Hmm.
I mean, if Ty-Guy draws, he draws a 7.
But
Maybe
that's
he
like
gets
too
very
late.
lucky with a 7 and can meld it, but that's
Uh-huh.
just too slow. We would have to. Um,
I mean, THL can choose the order of doing those things. Can do the score achievements if it's something that threatens score, and can do
yeah,
the special achievement
and he
if
has
it's
the leaf
something that threatens
majority,
that.
so Ty-Guy can't easily threaten the score because that generally needs leaves.
Hmm.
And he's got nothing in his hand anymore to be stolen. So I honestly don't
Yeah, I
see
think it's over.
anything here. Um, I mean, okay, so yeah, it is, isn't it? I just think he could
Yeah, Ty,
draw
Ty, Ty guy's just like
publications.
looking at his outs, but yeah.
Yeah, I think if he got publications, he could get Compass back, which would steal an 8, but that's just too slow and doesn't really stop anything at all.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is how I think of THL as playing, like looking for that like sort of like lock rather than racing up the score. So I said earlier, oh, I can see this game because of the way it's going, like going against THL's normal style of play, and it definitely didn't. I was wrong about that. He, did the kind of lock that he likes to do, way ahead in tech, head on leaves, lots of special achievements. Had machinery, never bothered to play it.
If Thai guy uses industrialization, I mean, he might end up getting extra reds, but I don't see him getting empire.
No, because he can't. He won't get any blocks.
These kids put
Okay,
brownies
yeah,
in
okay. The sevens. There are some clocks in the sevens, I guess.
Not
But
enough to get Empire.
yeah, when you're playing right, indeed, you won't get, yeah. So
Bicycle, railroad, publications, lighting, no way.
yeah, it's playing right. Yeah, you only get the one from lighting for that. I mean, he's looking valiantly to see if there's anything he can do, but there isn't.
Yeah, there isn't. Okay, what about physics and then bicycle? So then that threatens to use bicycle. Okay, but thwol gets the bicycle.
But threatening to use bicycle, would that be enough of a threat?
I mean, the idea is like that forces thwol to do the scoring achievements, and then depending on what the other seven is, you maybe can try to get Empire, but you can maybe, if you got a lucky draw with those sevens, get enough clocks.
Maybe.
You also need factories. I mean, we're trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, it might delay the inevitable, but thwol has, could look to get wonder via flight, or could simply look to score, use quantum theory to score 10 more points. Right?
I mean, you're desperate here, so you have to imagine. Okay, so thwol like has to return his hand, but I get to keep my sevens, and one of them is bicycle, and blah blah blah. But yeah. Now it's really over.
I mean, the other option was did he have atomic theory in his hand? Because atomic theory would have been shared, and that might have prevented.
No, it wouldn't have been shared. It's three light bulbs. Would have put him ahead on light bulbs.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh yes. Sorry, I think you might have said that before. Sorry. Yeah. That's actually been, and Ty-Guy6 mentioned a couple of times in the chat, is not sharing light bulbs, apart from a couple of times with mathematics. But there are subsequent to that, there are times that he wanted to. Okay, do this again. Okay, so now Ty-Guy should get a 9, but could be very unlucky, and he's very unlucky.
He was unlucky.
All right.
I mean, I like that for hustle, right? Like that at least has this chance of getting him a 9, and then maybe it's something more dynamic, one of the ones that like then causes more things to happen.
Yeah, I think that was
an out that we didn't think about.
That was the only thing I think he could do. I think that was the right action.
Yeah. But now it's over.
Yeah.
Well, he was hoping that Thomas would have at least share physics, and he finally did, and well, I guess it's not Tyler's day.
I mean, he was quite, because that required that thwol not draw 2 cards of the same color as well, right? So it required that all the times, right? So remember, that's the 7th time he's used physics.
Yep.
And the first time it has failed.
And the last time
So, it's not like, if it had failed for thwol but worked for me, that would have been good, because Ty-Guy needed them all to work so he could get into the 9s.
So how many cards is he returning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 15 cards. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm not sure the order in which they're returned is going to matter much in this game.
Yeah, I'm not even going to worry about that, because, I mean, it's just... He may be trying to return them in a specific order so that he gets to share physics next time, but it's really,
Doesn't help, as we said. Thwol,
Exactly. Yeah.
Thwol only needs 4 actions to win.
3 probably.
Flight won't give him Empire because there are no crowns revealed by using it only once. So I think he has to do 2, achieve 3, achieve 4, flight
And then
twice.
there's multiple other ways. I mean, you can also do quantum theory and achieve the 5.
Yeah, quantum theory and then 5. So yeah, there are two. Yeah, but that's 4 actions as well. So yes,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah. But basically, yeah, Thwol will win on not this turn coming up, the next one, and there's nothing Ty-Guy can do in his 2 actions in between to damage that. Particularly now he doesn't have any cards in his hand.
Got 1. Maybe it's society.
Oh, he's got 1. Yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, sharing bonus. Lucky him. Maybe it's yeah. Well, it can't be anything, so it doesn't matter.
Here
Probably
comes
like
physics.
society.
You think it's going to be physics again?
Doesn't help.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, it was
And it was
society.
society.
You see, so there we go. Society is a card I've been saying you'd sadly bypassed earlier.
I know.
Now we can get mass media. Hooray! Right. Oh, does that mess up?
No,
Empire?
because
No, it
quantum
doesn't.
theory, he could always just score the.
Yeah,
or
but he's
hand.
got his yeah. He had like in a couple
This
of
way
light
works
bulbs in
too.
heads.
And if he has
There we go.
crowns,
And
where?
one.
There you go. Alrighty. Good game.
Good game.
All right, I think they're gonna do a post game discussion. So let me see. Why do I have this thing? Okay. Yep, it was. It was. A lot of things worked out for him. So that was pretty good. Okay, if he had played his blues, let me see. Did the blues have crowns? No.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Well,
Hello, Thomas.
Was there a better move?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, can you please give Tyler the Zoom, the
Yeah.
link? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I think Thomas might do the recording, so I'm going to stop the recording. But it was a pretty good tournament, knockout, and the games were, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games total. So yes, Thomas was lucky he didn't have to play the first match, and Tyler, let me see. Tyler was also lucky didn't have anybody in the first game. So a lot of players, especially the highest ones, were the ones that just completely avoided the first match. And the little players, other players, a lot of the little players ended up in the first game, but I don't know, a lot of good players I see in the first game as well. So, alright.
little players.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the streaming, and thank you so much for guys for your commentary. Thank you, thank you, thank you.